Hello, this is Jonathan Green with Atmospheric Endeavors, and you're looking at the Nokia N78. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, and figured it was time to get some content going again. I just got this device yesterday, and I'm actually going to compare it to a couple of things. The first here is the N82, and I think I also appreciate the comparison here with the N81. I think these two, this is sort of where things started. Just get the N82 out of the way. A lot of similarities in the styling, the mocha shell, button design, very similar. But the N78 is really actually a very nice piece, and I think, just to bring another phone into the picture here, it's really the successor to the N73, which was a long-time favorite of mine in the N-Series line. Really solid, very reliable device. The N78, however, is the first device, at least that I've used, and I'm not sure if it may actually be the first device as well, that has the Series 60 Feature Pack 2, and I'll show you some of the enhancements that have been done there as well. But let's start with the hardware. To begin, so you've got very smooth, seamless front here. You'll see that things are relatively flush right on the side. Okay, with the screen. Compare that to, say, the N95. Sorry, I don't mean to just pull out every phone that I have, but they are actually all sitting right here. So the N95 has a recessed screen, and these guys all have a flush screen. The N81 sort of actually tapers off on the edge, you can see there. But the N82 and N78 both share this nice flush face. And actually the N78, in comparison, is almost like a stealth device here. The number pad, as you can see here, is really pretty minimal comparison to what seem to be pretty small keys, but very usable on the N82. And actually the N78 has a very unique keypad. I'm just going to see if I can get that nice and close for you. It's not that easy in video, but let's see if I can get a good view. As you can see, the keys are really, that little recess there is the 5. Otherwise, it's like a single bar that goes across. There's no marking or texture on it. It's totally smooth, and you just have to sort of press and know that you're in the right spot. So pressing 2 in the middle obviously gives you a 2 or 8, or 9. Very, very simple. I mean, not a big deal, but it's pretty tight. I actually have found this is the one thing that's taken in the less than 24 hours that I've been using the phone a little getting used to. The spacing on the N82, and certainly where I was more accustomed on the N95, this is much tighter. So let's see, we've also got the DPad here. The DPad has the nav wheel, so I'll show you how that works. In certain instances, it doesn't work everywhere, and to be honest, I'm sort of not really, I have yet to be a fan of this technology. It first started in the N81, and I turned it off there right away. I don't think it's on the N82. I certainly haven't been using it there. But we've got this, I can't remember what this key is called. I apologize. I think it's the multimedia key, essentially. So when you click this, you get into a rotational menu here, and you can see I can, just moving around, I can navigate the menus. There's no, like you might expect on like an iPod or a Zune, you can't simply left, right, or up, down. That doesn't work. It's purely based on rotation, and in this case it's really only on the menu itself. Let's close out of that. So what we're looking at here, though, is the active standby screen, and let me zoom in. I'll probably do, well, before I mess with the camera, I'll just do my best here. So the key features here, same stuff that you've probably seen in somewhat recent Nokias. A couple of new smaller indicators up at the top, like where the battery and the Bluetooth are smaller, which means when I go into, or they accommodate, I should say, when I go into my menu. One very subtle but nice thing is that actually now the time is readable when you're deep into the system, or deeper into the system. Not everywhere, but in a lot of places it's really nice. You can see as I sort of navigate around that there are some like transitions and photos here, or, from photos to web. When I launch the browser, see it sort of fades in and out. Go back, which is nice. Certain applications only work in landscape mode, so when I pick photos, the screen will actually rotate, and then I just rotate the device itself. And you can see now this is actually the new Photos application, so things have been designed to be a little bit more consumer friendly, I think, in Feature Pack 2. So we've got access to all of our stuff here. Let's see, whoops. So based on months, if you've organized things into albums, by tags, which I haven't really used yet, downloads, all this stuff, which includes everything on my card. And this is a similar but slightly different arrangement, for sort of navigating around the wheel. So there you can just pick a photo. I can zoom in, and the menu within Photos has changed a little bit. So when I highlight over, so you can see that send. That'll rotate the screen. This is one click based on the destination that you choose, so this will send this picture to Flickr. It's actually already there. This will add it to an album. That will give me some tags and details. And then actually I noticed in options, which for some reason I think actually I missed. Here we go. So you can do slideshow, add tags, edit. Actually, you know what? These pictures were not taken on this phone, so let me show you one. So here, I took this picture earlier today. And now when I go into options, there we go. I can do show on map. Put the phone down. This will now load the Nokia Maps application, and once it does, it will try to put the photo actually on the map. One of the things that the N82 started is built-in geotagging. The N78 continues that as a function, and it should be interesting to see actually if this particular photo works. When I had uploaded it to Flickr, it wasn't there, but I actually added it myself. If you've run GPS or Sports Tracker where GPS was enabled within a recent period of time, that's lovely because I have the different card in there where my license for the maps is. Yeah. If you've been running GPS and then you actually I could probably do this while we're talking. But if you run the GPS before you take a picture and it's been sort of warm, it actually has a pretty good success rate, as you would expect, to upload some pictures. So this will give you an opportunity. Actually, before I do that, I should remove the memory card. Okay. So I put this larger 6 gig card in. The 2 gig card that actually came in the box contains the license for my maps. So now, if I go back into Photos, okay, so I took a picture last night. Nice little teddy bears. as I said, the license for my maps and the install is on the memory card. That's actually how it came out of the box, and something I need to address so that it's more on the device, so that switching memory cards, with larger capacities for other things is not an issue for what I was just trying to do. Although I can't say I'll be doing that a whole lot. It's certainly fun, but it's pretty easy to do it when you get back to your desk as well. Perfect. Nothing like a little live demo, so we'll just get out of this. Okay. So from this view here, I'm just going to show you some of the, let me give you a tour of the device, and then we'll go into some other features. So like the N82 and the Nokia N810 tablet, we've got micro USB, we have micro SD here. This is the charger. This is one of the two speakers. The other is on the other side, sort of in opposite corners. We've got volume and zoom, depending if you're in the camera. We've got camera, and you'll note that the camera is unexposed, or excuse me, is exposed, unprotected. So, but just by pressing and holding on the camera button, we'll actually start it up. It's a 3.2 megapixel Zeiss optic. It's got LED, not xenon flash. And actually, just so you can see the difference, this is the N82 here with the xenon flash and obviously protected camera there, versus the exposed LED, and you can see the difference in the flash. So you certainly on the N82 expect better pictures. The N78 is I would say more mainstream, quote unquote, for N-Series, since they're all high-end devices. We've got a standard headphone jack, power, and on the bottom I've got speaker, or microphone for talking. This phone actually has, and I'm going to zoom out for this, probably the most challenging back mechanism of any phone or even device I've used recently. The way this works, see that's sort of flush there. The way it works is you flick it up, and then this little tab pulls out, and by pulling it, this thing comes out, and then the whole thing just pulls off. And this is holding it on here. The battery is the BL6F. It's the same that's in the N95 NAM edition. So it's a good battery. It's very high capacity. Get this back in there. For some reason, this thing is really tough. Okay. So let me show you a couple features here. So this thing right here on the Navi wheel, you'll see it sort of pulse again. There we go. It's called breathing. That's an option that you can turn on and off. It's, I remember getting briefed on this device in Barcelona back in February. It's somewhat of the organic, alive nature of this thing. You'll see the buttons that you're not using. In this case, the device is in sort of static mode here. Everything is concealed. When it activates and I unlock the screen, then things light up. So our send and end keys, our soft keys, our applications button, and C key to delete, all sort of pop up once the device is on, along with actually the numbers. But then after a moment there, you see everything sort of calms down and is concealed, which is pretty cool. So let's see. Let's go into the device. I'll go into. Let me zoom back down here. Okay, so if we go into Tools, and then we go into Settings, in General, so on the standby mode, so we've got horizontal, which is what you're used to seeing. I can also do vertical. Now vertical is, I would say, more of a power user function, and to be honest, I would consider myself a power user. I'm actually just sort of getting used to how it works. So now you can see it's a much cleaner display here, but then you can actually have sub-menus right off of the main stuff. So that's stuff off my calendar, accessing the music player, the radio, the FM transmitter, which I'll talk about, and the Wi-Fi wizard. You don't have sort of open access into your calendar, and you don't have access into your share online stuff, which you could see earlier. So let me go back to that. I think maybe it isn't power user. I'm not really sure what its intent is. It's certainly an option. Okay, so now back to this, you'll see, this is probably the more traditional view that people are accustomed to. Share Online, which if you've installed on older devices, is now pre-installed, ready to connect to OV, Vox, and Flickr. Standard menus here. This theme is new and is part of the N78 as opposed to some of the other stuff that you've seen. So it changes some of the icon views here. Again, showing you some of the transitions. Let me see here. One of the more interesting details I think has really been cleaned up. If we go into our connection settings and choose destinations, you'll see that things are now grouped, and under Internet I've got two. I can actually set a priority. So Sesame Street is wireless LAN in our house, and AT&T Internet is number 2. So which means that when I go to make a connection, which I can do, I'm just trying to do it staying in the menus here. So when I launch the browser, don't underestimate the challenge of typing on screen through a camera. So you'll see it'll prompt me, and it knows Internet, it's got Sesame Street or WAP, and that's MediaNet, not AT&T Internet. So the Internet one is actually folded in here, and just by choosing this, it'll go to those two things. I'll add additional Wi-Fi points as well, but that's pretty slick and definitely handy. It doesn't seem to my knowledge anyway, go back and forth between, like walking into the house. It's not going to switch from AT&T to Wi-Fi automatically. But anyway, let's see. Other details here, I think, sort of feature pack 2 stuff. This device does not support, there's no gyro in here that does sort of the auto rotation like in our N82. Let's make sure there's nothing on my screen here I don't want to show. It actually doesn't work in this screen, so of course, great demonstration. Here, I can show you. I'm just getting into, see, so when you load photos on the N78, it goes into landscape mode. On the N82, it starts however you were holding the phone, and just with a simple rotation, rotates the screen around, which is nice, and something that I think really speaks to the photo-specific nature of this device. Obviously comes in handy for other things too, like browsing the web. Easy enough to rotate on the N78. But let's see, that's pretty much the gist of this device. I would say, overall, in the 24 hours I've been using it, it's been very positive, surprisingly positive. Camera seems to be peppy. The interface is clean. I have had a couple issues syncing with my work exchange connection over VPN from home, but I think that's unfortunately to be expected. That has nothing to do with the N78. Had the same problem with other devices as well. And so I'll continue to use this, and if you have any questions or want to know more about the Nokia N78, let me know, and I will see what I can do.